Hey everyone, Hate Mail here. I wanted to do one last episode of a full board clear with Wondergirl. I did this a little while ago, but I just got around to putting it together. This first team is a pretty difficult team. I actually thought this one was going to be pretty difficult and I was going to struggle with it, but having Atrocitus and Wondergirl, they're so powerful. And some of the other videos you've probably seen me do the affinity challenges where I'm facing full red teams. This one I thought when I first attacked, because I didn't attack Harley first, I thought I was going to lose. And as you can see, get down pretty low, but Wondergirl she just keeps on going. And I thought sure with MJ still alive, I would have lost right there, but because MJ doesn't double strike, I get lucky. RNG's on my side for the first time ever. And then Wondergirl does her double punch with her Enrage. These next two fights are pretty easy, so I just kind of messed around with them. They were 22 and 23k. Still, when you're facing 2v4, it can get a little dicey sometimes. So I just messed around with some characters. But while this is playing, and there isn't a whole lot to say about these matches, this is probably my last Wondergirl video. I was having a lot of fun doing the two-man matches. I'm starting to get a little bored of doing it, just because it's getting repetitive. There's a few matches you just can't win. Batgirl teams are impossible. Some of these matches take a lot of tries, but it was keeping me entertained while we hopefully wait for new content. I know something supposedly is definitely coming, but when or what, the scope of it, is it going to be something new to do, or is it just going to be a new feature? We really don't know. They haven't shared any of that information with us, so here's to hoping. I really hope Siege comes back, preferably with some bonus characters that aren't all mystics, and I would love to see blacked out characters so we could get rid of the characters you see in every single match. But even if they don't do that, if they just do bonus characters that are a little more diverse, I think it'd make it a lot more fun, because Siege is definitely one of the more fun things in my opinion. I know some people don't enjoy it as much, but for the long-time veteran players, when you're running regular PvP, it just gets boring. And especially when you're only getting +6, and 9 out of 10 matches are some variation of Harley Quinn, Mad Jester, Power Girl, Wondergirl, and then usually Atrocitus and Batgirl teams kind of mixed into that. It just gets boring. You get tired of facing the same matches, using the same strategy over and over and over and over and over. So really hope for something new to do, really hope for a good Siege with some interesting bonus characters so it gets a little bit of diversity. Because it's kind of annoying that when all these new characters keep coming out every month, you don't really see them get any play. I mean, Roy's pretty good. We're going to be releasing an episode about Roy for both audio and video format here in the next day or two. 3 or 4 days, because I have stuff to edit it. But you don't really get to use any of these new characters because they just don't fit in. They're not a counter to the existing meta that has been very pervasive for a very long time. Which I know people are so tired of hearing people cry about Wondergirl, but she has created this meta, so that's where all the rage comes from. Whether you're against it or not, there hasn't been a character that's released that deals with both evasion and without buffs, heavy buffs. I mean, we have Zod who kind of does it, but you can't build a team around him as easily. You can kind of get rid of a problem character or two, but it hasn't changed the meta. There's no reason not to use Batgirl, Wondergirl, or Atrocitus, Wondergirl team of some kind. So unfortunately, we're stuck with just the same old thing. Now that we got the 2 easy matches out of the way, let's see. It's been so long since I've done these. Actually using Zod here. So this is a team that you would think I have the affinity disadvantage. No taunter, 2 physical characters. You got a healing character, and you have Cyborg, who's, he's a good character, but he's terrible against this setup. So as long as I get the first hit with Zod, that was pretty much, you kind of know you have the match at that point. And this was surprisingly easy. I thought this one was going to be a little bit harder. I actually went through this board clear much faster than I thought I would. And some of these matches, when I first saw them, I thought they'd be a lot harder. But Zatanna might give me a little bit of a problem, because she does hit pretty hard. Zatanna's not a bad character. I think if they did a rework, one of those mini reworks, she could be a top shelf character because she does buff removal, she does heals, and she hits pretty hard with her little rabbit. She doesn't hit Zod very hard because he's intelligence based, so that's unlike Power Girl who just gets slaughtered. And that was actually a +9 match for me, which was fairly rare. On this next one, I decided to have a little bit of fun. This one took me a lot of tries because I wanted to use Giganta. And the other thing on here, I wanted to use non-meta level characters or characters you see on all the pervasive teams like the Power Girls and the Mad Jester Harley Quinn on a lot of these matches. And I thought this one was pretty tough because you have Superman, you have Etrigan, who Etrigan, you know, before Wondergirl came along, he was the target of people saying he should be nerfed. And he is, I mentioned this on a Reddit thread actually this morning, he's one of those characters that he's so much better than all the other damage dealing Mystic characters. I don't think he deserves a nerf in any way, shape, or form because all he does is damage dealing and all he does is he requires a ramp up. But then you look at characters like Aquamoa, who doesn't do anything but damage. I mean, yeah, he has a call assist on crit, but other than that, he requires tremendous ramping, and he still doesn't do anywhere even close to the damage of some of these other characters. So that's where I think just overall balancing in the game. At Gear 11, when Gear 11 first came on board, the game was very balanced. It seemed like the tankier characters did a little less damage, the sheer damage dealers did more damage than the tanky characters, and I just felt like we had a really good kind of level playing field before the Deathstroke era began, and then you started seeing these ridiculous characters come out to compensate, and now we're kind of in a place where there's a handful of characters that are so much better than all the rest that they just don't see much play. This was a fun match. I was really surprised I was able to do it. Like I said, that one took quite a few tries to be able to do it with Giganta. If I would have used Harley Quinn, I'm sure I could have blew through that one. Superman might have been able to give us a little bit of problem since he can hit. This is another one, a pretty strong team. You have a Taunter that will proc Wondergirl, so that kind of gives you a little bit of. But I think that this one took me a few tries. I had to end up using Brainiac to keep the other Wondergirl from wrecking my team. I do really like Brainiac's stun. I'm lucky this Robin didn't have the upgrade for the bleeds, or that might have been a lot more of a problem for me. But thankfully my whip damage was high today. And Wondergirl basic punch. Just does so much damage, even when it doesn't crit. The other thing is, I was surprised I was able to 3-star a lot of these matches. 2-manning. You shouldn't be able to do that against a 30k team. This one was a little bit harder, especially because it was a little bit weaker team. I can't remember which character on that. I think it was one or two. Wonder Woman Princess. Seems like all the Wonder Woman except for DOJ are really strong. I guess the Coda isn't that great either, but just Wonder Woman PvP. She's one of those characters that every now and again she can wreck your team. She's tough. But this was a fairly easy match. They were weaker characters, so. I had a couple of these on this board, but I decided this video was still worth doing because it was enough really hard matches that I was able to do with weaker characters. So I thought it was worth it in the end. And I kind of wanted to show this one to kind of highlight Lex because he's a character I really like. He's so slow, he doesn't work on some teams, but I thought I was going to lose this match at this point, but he's able to get his life back, build back up, and I was actually even able to use his AoE, which that thing does some damage. And it did much less damage because I was below 50% health, and when you're above 50% health, you can really wreck some face. I thought I screwed up here by not using his shield the turn before, but That AoE, when you get to use it, it's awesome. But unfortunately, most matches don't last long enough. Here's a match where I used Larfleeze. This match took me a tremendous amount of tries because Bane is no joke, especially when he starts with an overheal and Etrigan. So you pretty much, this is a, especially old school meta team. In today's day and age, the Batgirl teams really wreck through this, but this was a really tough match. Took me a lot of tries to two-man this one. I was stuck on this one so long that I almost gave up. And then I tried a few more comps, and I was able to get that crit on Etrigan, and that sealed the deal for winning this. But it's still tough because you still got to deal with Etrigan, who can take Larfleeze beating, and thankfully Larfleeze, because he's special damage, doesn't take quite as much damage against Etrigan as some of the other characters. So that's why I was able to do it. This was definitely a match I thought wasn't going to happen until I finally decided to try Larfleeze on it. Larfleeze is a great character. He's not used as often as you would think, mainly because of Wondergirl just eats him alive. But I don't think if she wasn't in the game, I have a feeling he would be on quite a few teams. Next one's a Hal Jordan team. This one's tough because of Poison Ivy, but I wanted to do one match with Blue Beetle. And so I thought going against a shield team be a good chance to break him out. I wish he was a better character because he's still pretty darn horrible. He only works here because I'm able to buff. Wondergirl buffs him, and then he will do a decent amount of damage. I like him with Steppenwolf. But he actually nuked Etrigan, which was the key to this match. This one took me a few tries to get it to work with Blue Beetle. But once Etrigan was down, Poison Ivy's a little bit of a problem because she does so many bleeds. Thankfully her AI is pretty dumb. And Wondergirl can purge bleeds. Self-purge. As I mentioned many times, she does it all, so hence why I'm able to do these two-man matches. I know Kage's kind of been on a crusade to get her nerfed. I don't think reducing her lasso damage is going to matter. I still think she'll be on every single team because she just does so much. I think moving her passive to a Leer would make her a little more in line with other characters, but even that I still think we'll see. Majority of teams, Wondergirl led. She's just too good. And this last one, Wondergirl actually doesn't... Wondergirl's main job is just to get rid of Power Girl for me. Black Canary is a great character, especially when it's just down to her. It's funny because when I was messing with this, I actually thought I should have used her more because Black Canary actually does better when the rest of your team is dead because she'll use her passive more, her leadership passive. She's an underrated character in my opinion. I know M4 is pretty high on her. She definitely is good. I think there's some teams to be had with Roy and Wally. When Wally comes out, I'm going to mess with Black Canary a little bit more. This is where Black Canary just does that double punch. I really didn't think this match I was gonna be able to win this one, but especially with Batman purging constantly. I decided I should probably... both of them are purging, actually. I didn't even think about that. That's pretty impressive that Black Canary's still able to... She's very tanky. She can take a hit. I really want them to make one of the Batman, like, a top tier character. But Batman's World Greatest Detective is very good now. TDK's okay. Batman CC's okay, but I wish Batman CC was the answer they give us to this meta. And here's the rest of the board so you can see it all. Stay tuned. We'll have a more regular episode about Roy coming out very soon. Hate Mail signing off.